Hello everyone and welcome back into the Birdland Network where we talk all things Baltimore Orioles and Major League Baseball. And today we're back with a really fun video as I'm going to count down my 10 best players not in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Now these are my players I think are the 10 best that aren't in. And there was a lot to choose from for sure, but we're going to get right into it. But before we do that, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more baseball and Orioles content and give us a like on the video. It definitely helps us. So let's get right into my 10 best players not in the Baseball Hall of Fame. So number 10 for me is Dale Murphy. Now Dale Murphy, of course, played for the Atlanta Braves for the majority of his career. He played from 1976 all the way up to 1993. He had a lot of seasons in baseball, and he was just really, really good. He had 18 seasons. And over his career, he had 398 home runs. He had a stretch there where he had 4 straight seasons of 36 or more home runs, over 100 RBIs. 1987, he hit 44 home runs with 105 RBIs, batted .295. This guy, for his career, again, 398 home runs, 1,266 RBIs, 2,111 hits. Just a really good hitter, real good hitter. 350 doubles in his career. He had, I think he had 7 All-Star Game appearances. He was also a 5-time Gold Glove winner, 4-time Silver Slugger. But the big awards, he was a back-to-back National League MVP winner. In 1982 and 83, he was the National League MVP. He's a really, really good player that, in my opinion, is one of the best that's being left off of the Hall of Fame ballot and getting the nod in. So for me, number 10 has to be Dale Murphy. Real good player, offensively, defensively. If you put his numbers up against some of these other outfielders that are in the Hall of Fame right now, his numbers stack up. But he's not in, and that's why he makes number 10 on my list. Next up for me at number 9 is Manny Ramirez. Now, Ramirez played in the major leagues from 1993 to 2011. I think he made his big marks, obviously, with Cleveland and Boston. But this guy was such a phenomenal, scary right-handed power hitter. He had 9 straight seasons with 30 or more home runs. He had 5 times where he hit 40 or more home runs. In 1999, he set the American League record and the Major League record that season with 165 RBIs that year. Incredible. I mean, for his career, he's a 555 home runs, 2,574 hits, 1,831 RBIs, a lifetime .312 hitter, 547 doubles. He went to 12 All-Star games, 9 Silver Sluggers. He was the 2002 American League batting champion. And of course, he was the 2004 World Series MVP. He just was an awesome hitter. One of the knocks on him in his playing is that he wasn't very good defensively. As a left fielder, he just really wasn't that good defensively. He was actually kind of a liability. So I think that's one of the things that kind of hurts him in that respect. He wasn't the complete player, but he was, wow, one heck of a hitter. Just so powerful, so feared, and just dominant hitter. And of course, it's all tied to the PEDs. And this isn't about whether I do or don't think he should get in. These are just the best players that aren't in. And he only garnered 33% of the vote, which is his highest percentage. And that was just in 2023. So Manny Ramirez, great hitter. He's obviously got some controversy. And I think a lot of guys on this list are going to be in that controversy. But he's number 9 for me. Number 8 for me is a guy who I think might ultimately get in, but at the timing of this video, he's not in yet, and that's Andruw Jones. Now, Andruw Jones, he played in the major leagues from 1996 to 2012, so he had 17 seasons. Most of them with the Atlanta Braves. He did play for the Dodgers and Texas and a couple other teams as well. But his big stats were all with the Atlanta Braves. Great player. Had 2 home runs in the World Series, I think in '96, if I remember correctly, as a rookie. Just a fantastic player. He had 30 or more home runs 7 times. He had 100 or more RBIs 5 times. Just a fantastic player. I think 2005 and 2006 were his best years. In 2005, he hit 51 home runs with 128 RBIs and 24 doubles. with a .922 OPS. And then he followed that up in 2006 with 41 home runs, 129 RBIs, 29 doubles, and an 894 OPS. And not only was he a great hitter, but he was another level in the outfield. Just a phenomenal defensive player in the outfield. Just on another level. He was fantastic. He could run, he could track the ball, he could catch, he could throw. He had all aspects of the game in the defensive side of baseball as well. He was just phenomenal. I think one of the knocks on him was probably his lifetime batting average of 254. So he wasn't really a high average guy, but he could still hit, and man, was he good defensively. Just a fantastic player. He had 5 All-Star Game appearances, 1 Silver Slugger Award, and 10 Gold Gloves. 10 Gold Gloves. I think he's an awesome player, and that's why he makes my list. His highest percentage for Hall of Fame was just in 2024 at 61.6, and it keeps growing. That's his highest at this point. So he might make it. You never know with Andruw Jones. But as of right now, he's not in, and that's why he makes my list at number 8. Next up at number 7 for me is Dick Allen. Now, Dick Allen played from 1963 to 1977. A big part of his career, 9 of those 15 years were with the Philadelphia Phillies. But he did do really well when he was with the Chicago White Sox as well. Now, here's a guy that really, this one's kind of a head scratcher as well for me, why he's not in the Hall of Fame. He had 20 or more home runs 9 straight seasons. He had 30 or more home runs 6 times. In 1966, he hit 40 home runs, had 110 RBIs, a 317 batting average, 112 runs scored, and a 1.027 OPS, and he finished 4th in MVP voting that year. In 1972, he had 37 home runs with 113 RBIs, a 308 average with a 1.023 OPS, and he won the American League MVP that year in 1972. This is a guy that was a really, really good hitter and a good defensive player as well. Not great defensively, but good. For his career, he had 351 home runs, 1,119 RBIs, 133 steals, a lifetime 292 hitter, and 1,848 hits. He was a 7-time All-Star. He was the 1964 National League Rookie of the Year, and of course the 1972 American League MVP. But he only garnered 18.9% of the vote. That was his highest percentage, and that was in 1996. And to me, that's kind of a head scratcher that he couldn't even get 20% of the vote. So there you go, number 7 for me, Dick Allen, really good player, and I think a lot of people think he probably deserves to be on this list. He deserves to be on the list to me. That's why he's number 7 of the best players not in the Hall of Fame. Next on my list at number 7 is Rafael Palu. Now, Palu played in the major leagues from 86 to 2005 with either the Rangers of Texas or the Orioles of Baltimore. This guy was an incredible hitter and grew into a power hitter, and we'll talk a little bit more about that at the end here. He had 4 seasons of 40 home runs or more. He had 10 times 30 or more home runs. He had 100 or more RBIs 10 times. This guy was an incredible hitter. 3,030 hits, 569 home runs, 1,835 RBIs, a 288 lifetime batting average, 585 doubles, and 885 lifetime OPS. He's one of only 7 guys with 3,000 hits and 500 home runs. Incredible major league career. Not to mention 4 All-Star games, 3 Gold Gloves, and 2 Silver Slugger Awards. You would think this guy is a slam dunk for the Hall of Fame, and that's why he makes this list. And it's kind of too bad, because when you look at the numbers as a whole, this guy is a slam dunk. I mean, 3,000 hits, 500 home runs, one of 7 guys. Normally, that alone is going to get you in the Hall of Fame. And his highest percentage of votes from the Baseball Writers Association of America for the Hall of Fame was 12.6%, and that was in 2000. Progressively gone down since then. So his chances of getting in, even though he's still on the ballot, are not. Actually, he's off the ballot now. I think he's under 5% at this point. It's too bad. He's just not going to get in at this point. At least not through the writers. And that's why for me, Palu, great hitter, good ball player, defensively as well. He's number 7. So let's get into number 5, and that's Roger Clemens. Now, Clemens played 24 seasons in the major leagues from 84 to 2007. He's been with Boston, Toronto, the Yankees, Houston, and what a big game power pitcher this guy was. He won 20 or more games 6 times. He won 18 or more games 10 times. He had 354 wins for his career, 118 complete games. He had 46 shutouts. He had 4,672 strikeouts with a 3.12 lifetime ERA. He was just absolutely dominant in 1988 as well with 291 batters. Just an incredible power pitcher. Not only that, we're talking 11 All-Star games, 7 Cy Young Awards, the 1986 American League MVP. He was the 1997 and 1998 American League Pitching Triple Crown winner. Just an incredible career for Roger Clemens. And normally he would be on the ballot, first ballot, and he'd be in. But he just hasn't been able to garner the votes. Now, his percentage has gone up over the years. His most recent was 2022, where he got 65.2% of the vote. Still not enough to get him in, but you know that's why. And I think it all boils down to his link to PEDs and steroids, and it's been keeping a lot of these players out. And I think this is going to start becoming a recurring thing with some of the guys that are still yet to come. But normally he would be in, and that's why he's number 5 for me, Roger Clemens. We're now up to number 4, and number 4 on the list is the one for me that out of all 10 probably is the one that I wish was in the Hall of Fame, and that's shoeless Joe Jackson. This guy was such an incredible hitter. Now, he played from 1908 to 1920, so for 13 seasons. He played with Philadelphia, Cleveland, and of course the White Sox. He's such an amazing hitter. If you just look at his numbers, just such a gifted hitter. If he had played a full career of 20 to 22 seasons like some of these other guys have played, he could have put up exceptional numbers that would have made him an ultimate lock for the Hall of Fame. Just to give you an example, in 1911, he had 233 hits, 45 doubles, 19 triples, 7 home runs, 83 RBIs, 41 steals, and he hit .408 for the season. He followed that up in 1912 with 226 hits, 44 doubles, 26 triples, 3 home runs with 90 RBIs, 35 steals, and he hit .395. For his career, in just those 13 seasons, of which not all of them were full seasons, he had 1,772 hits, 307 doubles, 168 triples, 792 RBIs, 202 steals, a 940 OPS career, and a lifetime batting average of .356, which, by the way, is 3rd all-time in baseball history. But he was out of baseball by the age of 32. And of course, that's because of the big 1919 Black Sox scandal, or White Sox, where the White Sox threw the World Series against the Reds. Now, after the White Sox lost that 1919 World Series to the Reds, Jackson and 7 other players were accused of accepting $5,000 each, which roughly equates to about $90,000 today, to throw the series. And in September of 1920, a grand jury was convened to investigate those allegations. Jackson's 12 base hits set a series record that was not broken until 1964, and he led both teams with a .375 batting average in the series. He committed no errors, and he threw out a runner at the plate. But the Reds hit an unusually high number of triples, 3 out of 9, to Jackson's position in left field. And the Sox pitchers said the team's outfielders were playing out of position and slowly fielding balls. Now, it's alleged that Jackson admitted to participating in the fix during a grand jury testimony on September 28, 1920. Now, by 1921, a Chicago jury acquitted Jackson and his 7 teammates of wrongdoing. But Kennesaw Mountain Landis, who of course at the time was commissioner, imposed a lifetime ban on all 8 players. And that's why to this day, Joe Jackson's not in the Hall of Fame. His numbers just scream excellence, just one of the greatest hitters of all time. And because of the scandal, he's not in. And there's no real proof that he was part of it. But either way, he was banned. And that's why, for me, he's number 4 on the list. He could have been higher on this list if he had been able to play a little bit longer. But Joe Jackson, number 4. Number 3 for me, we're going to go back a ways, and it's going to be none other than Pete Rose. Now, for some people, Pete Rose might be number 1 on this list. But for me, he's number 3. He played from 1963 to 1986. He played for the Reds and the Phillies. He had over 200 hits in a season 10 times in his career. He hit .330 or better 4 times, had over 100 runs scored 10 times. In 1978, he had a 44-game hitting streak, the closest anyone's ever gotten to DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak. He was just a phenomenal hitter. He wasn't a home run guy, but he was a guy that got on base. He had hits. I mean, for his career, he had 4,256 hits, which is first all-time, 2,165 runs scored, which is fifth all-time, 746 doubles, which is second all-time, a lifetime .303 batting average. Not to mention 17 All-Star games, 2 Gold Gloves, 1 Silver Slugger, the 1963 National League Rookie of the Year, the 1973 National League MVP, and the 1975 World Series MVP. Pete Rose is a highly decorated, incredible player. But that being said, we all know the reason why he's not in. In August of 1989, he voluntarily accepted a permanent place on baseball's ineligible list, as Rose accepted that there was a factual reason for the ban. And in return, Major League Baseball agreed to make no formal finding with regard to the gambling allegations that Major League Baseball had made against him, because they said he was gambling on sports, and most notably baseball. Now, he's denied that, but ever since then, he's been with this lifetime ban, and that's why he's not in. Whether you agree or disagree, that's why he's number 3 on this list. Great player, should be in the Hall of Fame just based on his numbers alone, but because of all of his off-the-field stuff, he's not in there. So we're up to number 2 on our list, and number 2 for me is Alex Rodriguez. Alex Rodriguez was just an incredibly dominant hitter from the minute he stepped on the Major League Baseball diamond. Just an incredible hitter. He played from 1994 to 2016. He played for Seattle, Texas, and the Yankees. Just an incredible hitter and power hitter, just throughout his entire career, from the age of 18 all the way up to when he retired at the age of 40. He had 22 seasons in the major leagues. He hit 50 or more home runs 3 times. 30 or more home runs 14 times, and 13 of the 14 were in a row from 1998 to 2010. He hit 40 or more home runs 6 straight seasons from 1998 to 2003. In 1996, he hit his highest average of .358. He's just an incredible hitter. He had at least 10 seasons of over 100 RBIs, if not more than that, 10 to 15 seasons of over 100 RBIs. Just an incredible hitting machine. For his career, 3,115 hits, 696 home runs, which is 5th all-time, 2,021 runs scored, which is 8th all-time, 548 doubles, 2,086 RBIs, which is 4th all-time, a lifetime .295 average with a .930 OPS. Not to mention 14 All-Star games, 2 Gold Gloves, 10 Silver Sluggers, and 3 MVP awards. This guy he's just an incredible player who, when you look at the numbers, it's a no-brainer first ballot Hall of Famer. This guy is just absolutely phenomenal on the baseball field. But again, he's been linked to performance-enhancing drugs, and that's been really what's kind of tarnished him and a lot of these guys and their chances of getting in. His highest percentage was just in 2023 when he had 35.7% of the vote. Now, he's still on there. We'll see over time if that goes up anymore, but that's a pretty low number, and it's going to be pretty hard to get him in. But Alex Rodriguez, phenomenal player, but not in the Hall, and that's why he's number 2. We are now down to number 1, and I think everybody knows who number 1 is just from the list alone. Number 1 is none other than Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds played from 1986 to 2007. He played with the Pirates and the Giants, primarily with the Giants for the majority of his years, but he did have several seasons with the Pirates. Talk about a prolific run producer, home run guy. This is your guy. He was just unbelievable. He's a phenomenal player, both defensively and offensively. I mean, his offensive numbers are legendary, and we'll get into whether those numbers are legitimate or not. You'll have to make your own conclusions on that. But he's just phenomenal. He had 30 or more home runs 14 times, 40 or more home runs 8 times, with 5 of them in a row from 2000 to 2004. Of course, he had the record-breaking 73 home runs in 2001. He had 100 or more RBIs 12 times. It's just a phenomenal hitter. What he did after the age of, 35 was probably why some people scratch their head and tend to pause. But he was just phenomenal. At the age of 35, he hit 49 home runs. At the age of 36, he hit 73. At the age of 37, he hit 46. 38, he hit 45. And then at the age of 39, he hit 45 more home runs. Just incredible. For his career, he had 2,935 hits, 601 doubles, 514 steals, 762 home runs, which of course is first all-time, 1,996 RBIs, 2,227 runs scored, a 298 lifetime batting average, and 1,051 OPS. Not to mention 14 All-Star Game appearances, 8 Gold Gloves, 10 Silver Sluggers, and 7 Most Valuable Player awards. Just the greatest hitter, not in the Hall of Fame. And again, linked to PEDs, Balco, performance-enhancing drugs, steroids. He's been linked to it, and it's really cost him his chance of getting into the Hall of Fame. His highest vote percentage was 66, and that was in 2022. And if I'm not mistaken, he's no longer on the ballot. So he can't get voted in by the writers. I don't know if the Veterans Committee will get him in later on down the road. But for now, he is not in the Hall of Fame, but he is the greatest player, in my humble opinion, not in there. And there you have it, my top 10 best players not in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Again, these guys, maybe some of them get in down the road, but right now they're not in, so that's why they make my list. But now it's up to you. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of my list? Do you have anybody that you would take off? Anybody you would add? What do you think of the list? I'd love to hear from you. Be sure to also subscribe to the channel for more baseball fun and Orioles fun, as we are a big Orioles channel here, but we also include baseball stuff like this. And please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps to get out there and help with YouTube to share it out with others. But thank you all for joining me. This has been fun. We'll have more videos like this, more top 10s down the road. And until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Keep watching those baseball games, and we'll talk to you soon.